out. So we have to introduce sports. And Benedict also is here. Benedict, what's up?
Yeah, day man, everything cool.
How's the new year? What's your resolution for the new year?
Well, I pray that everything that God has for me comes to pass.
Oh, Master, you are leaving your fate to chance.
No, not that. My life is not. No, my life is not my own.
But it's my mind.
Yes, it's not yours as well. It's God that takes care of you. So you pray that whatever God wants for you.
I'll just tease you.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
But you know, lots happening.
Yes.
You know the Black Stars are in town. They're preparing for the Africa Cup of Nations.
You told me that yesterday. And have we had the compliment of the players coming in?
What's happening now is Avram Grant is yet to release his official, whether it's going to be a provisional team or the 23-man squad. You know, per the rules, you have to invite players 14 days before the tournament. And because it's 16 days to the Africa Cup of Nations and we can't do that, Avram Grant must wait for that 14 days to elapse. That's why we've had the likes of Daniel Amate, Andrea Ayew, Jordan Ayew, Christian Atsu, as well as the young man who plays for Barnsley, all not coming down. The players that are down are players that play in, you can make mention of the other European countries where normally during the Christmas break they release these players to, you know, come have some time with their families. So the players that are here that are currently training, and yesterday they held their first training session, you can put it as an unofficial training, because what's happening is that because we've not released an official squad, and these players are not players that, well, one can say that these are the players we are taking to the Africa Cup of Nations. That's why we are having these kind of training sessions. So
let me get this straight. You're saying the players that are here are those who are not on break, or those that have not been?
Those that are on break.
On break. But officially
are likely
to be released by their clubs.
Are likely to
but
be
because they're on break, they
absolutely. They've not been released by their clubs per the FIFA regulations.
So it means that we're going to have them be released maybe after the 10th or something?
So 14 days to the tournament.
Okay.
So what it means is that now we have
Which
16
date is
days.
the tournament starting?
The tournament is starting on January 14th, and the Black Stars will play on January 17th, which will be on a Tuesday. So now 14 days. Today is we have 16 more days to the tournament. So what it means is that after 2 days, all these players can then come down, whether you're going to have your pre-tournament campaign in Gabon or wherever you're going to be. But we understand that the Black Stars will be in the United Arab Emirates, that's Dubai, to prepare for the tournament. So what it means is that these players can't join them, the players that I mentioned, those that are in England, because it's not the 14 days, and the English Premier League as well as the Championship are still ongoing. You cannot release these players. But the likes of Baba Aman, Mubarak Wakasu, and the other players that plied their trade in the other European countries, because they are on break. So the training they even had yesterday, as I noted, was an unofficial training. So let's say a player gets injured. Now, if the player gets injured, what happens is the club that is going to bear that cost. And the club, knowing very well that they release the player just to be on break and trained under the Football Association's care, that means the FA must take that blame. And it happened prior to our tournament in 2015. We invited some players. It was around the same time. The players came down. Abdul Majid Waris picked up an injury. He was playing in Sweden, and the FA had to deal with his club. And it became a very big issue. So normally when the players come around this time, you have to be very, very careful with how you treat them.
So that's why the training is on a very softer side.
Absolutely. So today as well, they will continue. But Avram Grant is expected to name his squad either on Saturday or on Sunday. So what happened is, I'm unable to say right now whether he's going to name a 30-man provisional squad that he will send to the United Arab Emirates for them to go through before 7 is dropped, or he's going to name 23-man squad and will take them there. They train
who are
for
some
2
of the
weeks.
players who are currently, I don't know whether officially we will say they're in camp, because they are just in their homes.
No, it's some sort of non-residential. For the goalkeepers yesterday, I was there myself. 4 goalkeepers, Fatah Dauda, who is now with the Yimba. We have the Razak Brahma, he's in as well. And Atizigi, if you watch the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand, there was this young man in the post of the Black Starlight who did very well. He has been invited as well. And also Richard Ofori plays his football for Wow All Stars. He's in the team as well. We have the likes of Harris Nafol, Nur Sule used to play for Accra Hearts of Oak. Now he's in Turkey with Alliance Sport. He has also been invited. Rashid Sumaila was in South Africa with Sundowns. Now he plays his football in Qatar with Al Gharafa. He has also been invited. So some of the new faces, and Latif Blessing of Liberty Professionals is in there as well. Samuel Tete in Austria. Rafael Jamina, he recently, I don't know if you remember, recently we played an interview with him. He plays his club football for a team called FC Austria Lustenau. And the team he plays for, he has played 20 matches and has scored 18 goals.
So all this, what has the Football Association been saying about this?
Well, Ibrahim Sani Dara is the spokesperson of the Football Association, and yesterday some of the things that I'm trying to explain to you, he explained to us. So we can listen to the spokesperson of the Football Association, Ibrahim Sani Dara.
It's not an official training. As you know, our official training starts when the teams are supposed to relieve their players for the national team. And that, according to the law, is 14 days before the tournament starts. What we have done here today is to bring together some players who have just come for physical exercises. They've asked that they are kept in shape for the technical team to observe. As you have seen today, the coach himself was not involved in the training because it's not the official training. But the physical trainer, Mr. Jamie Lawrence, has been taking them through the drills to keep them fit. Players are on holiday for Christmas, and 2-3 days can let them put up, you know, some few pounds. So it's what we've started now. At the appropriate time, we'll tell you of our list.
How should we call this one?
Well, teams being, players being whipped into shape.
But you said, so means randomly players just came up for training.
No. I didn't say that. I said those who are invited, no. That is why they've turned up here.
Okay.
So in other words, those players who train are invited?
Of course. Of course. If you see somebody here, he did not, you know, just appear from the thin air. He came here because he's been invited to.
But there's no squad out there. Besides, you have rubbish the squad that are out there.
Yes, we've not put out any squad there, and don't think that this is the end of it. There are many more players who are likely to form part of this squad. So it's the reason we've asked that be patient, let time roll, and we'll get it. But the most important thing we want to point out is that we want the players to be in shape. It's the reason why the physical trainer has been in charge of it. Mind you, there's a regulation concerning the invite of players to national teams for tournaments. It's 2 weeks before the tournament. So anything outside of that might have consequences for us.
And have you thought of that consequence since it's not official?
And that is why we are not holding an official training session.
But they are here under the umbrella of the GFA.
Huh?
They're here under the umbrella of the GFA.
They have requested that they be kept in form, in shape.
Okay, so
it's the reason why a physical trainer is keeping them in shape. Anyway, if a footballer comes to town, they play around the parks, around the corner. They are kept in shape because they want to keep in shape. But they've requested that they need physical trainers, and we've assisted them.
So the players requested before you came out with a statement on the FA website. Did the players request that they want to train before you came out with a statement on the FA website?
Those details we'll keep to ourselves. There are consequences, I've told you. The consequences are very dire. Imagine that a player turns up here. The time is not due for you to train, and you turn up here and you get injured. The GFA could be hit with a bill that could collapse the federation. It's very, very serious. We've had this experience before. Some of you might remember what happened 2014. So we are very mindful of what happened in the past, and we want to replicate it. And we would ask that you also cooperate with us with this understanding so that we don't put ourselves in trouble and we put the players themselves in trouble.
tell us the program lineup for today. Starting from tomorrow.
Well, the players have requested that they want to be kept fit. So normally we'll be training here. If there's a potential that will change and the training venue is something that we'll announce. But also there are possibilities also that we've announced that the press conference for the squad announcement will be made on the 31st. I'm already hearing that there's a potential that that date could go backwards a little bit. So all of these things will be announced as we fine-tune preparation.
So that was Ibrahim Sani Dara, spokesperson of the Football Association, explaining why Avram Grant is yet to release his official squad for the Africa Cup of Nations. As I noted earlier, we've got 16 more days to the tournament. The Black Stars will be in the United Arab Emirates for 2 weeks train before they plane to Gabon for the competition. Their first game is against Uganda, which will be played on January 17th, and it's going to be a Tuesday. Well, we would still remain with football, and we'll talk more here on the local scene. Yesterday, Mediama SC confirmed the departure of their player Kwame Boahin to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Well, Boahin, we understand, has signed a 3-year deal with the Porcupine Warriors. We go on to the line and speak to Director of Communications for Mediama SC, Patrick Akutu. Patrick, thanks so much for joining me here. What are the details in Boahin's contract?
Well, Benedict, thank you very much for having me this morning. Like he did indicate, what is it that we sold Kwame Boahin permanently to Kotoko. The financial terms have been agreed, and we are happy to announce that he has finally joined the Porcupine Warriors. For
like 2 weeks, Kwame Boahin had not turned up for training, and also there were talks that Kumasi Asante Kotoko wanted to just pick him without your notice or your knowledge of anything of that sort. How were you able to deal with these situations and finally agreed a deal with Asante Kotoko?
Well, first of all, we had no evidence that he had been taken by a Kotoko, so that argument for me was mute. Secondly, the player reported and made necessary pleas and all that. Kotoko did the right thing by officially coming forward. Don't forget that Kotoko had already slapped an official bid for a signature, and we have held advanced talks with the Kumasi-based club. Luckily, they were better, and they managed to come to terms with us, and we were satisfied with the financial agreement and the add-ons agreement. And so it was important that we allow the player to go, especially when we have made a point that we were ready to do business with clubs, both home and abroad, who are keen on signing our players. Indeed, it was one of the cardinal reasons why we participated in the CAF Confederations Cup, was to give exposure to these boys and ensure that we sell them to recoup, and also to get some money to continue running the club. So it's important that if a player cast in the mode of Kwame Boahin, I mean, and he had expressed interest in joining Kotoko, and Kotoko were really keen on signing him, and we're fine with the terms and agreements. There was no point in holding him. So as far as we are concerned, it is done and dusted.
Most of your good players are leaving the club. Kwame Boahin now with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Malik Akuwa already joining Accra Heartford. What are the plans to fill in these spaces?
Thankfully, there are multiple talents who abound in Ghana. There are hundreds of players who abound in Ghana. The direction and policy of Mediama has changed. We are looking at tapping from the very young talent from the Division 1, Division 2 players. They will also get the same opportunity. We'll give them the same exposure, give them the same platform, a huge platform like the Mediama platform, and they can easily fill the void created by these players. We have no difficulties at all that the absence of these players will not have any effect on the team ahead of the league. Of course, it was Kwame Boahin, Malik Akuwa, and Daniel Amoy and others that we talked about, Enoch Ataide and the others. Other players will come through the ranks. The good news is that Ghana abounds in talent. And the platform of Mediama is there to ensure that they're exposed on that particular brand.
Thank you very much, Patrick Akutu, for joining me. So that was Patrick Akutu. He's Communications Director for Mediama SC. Well, we can do some more, and for many fans, for many sports fans, the best moments are the times when they get to meet the main actors involved in the game. Now, many are those who wish their idols will never die, but as entities of life I have shown, the claws of death do not spare even the sports stars that grace our screens. Legendary coach Emmanuel Kwesi Afrani died after an ambulance conveying him to the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital got involved in a fatal accident. Emmanuel Kwesi Afrani, popularly called E.K. Afrani, was the man at the helm when the Black Starlights won silver at the Under-20 World Cup in 2001. He also coached the Black Starlets to 2 World Cups in 1991 and 1997 before taking charge of the Black Queens in 1997. He died at age 73. Ben Kofi died at age 84, having etched his name into the history books of Ghana football. He represented Ghana as a player from 1957 to 1958 and later became the coach of the national team. He also led Asante Kotoko to the Africa Club Championship in 1971 and Great Olympics to the semi-finals a year later. Ben Kofi served as the president of the Ghana Football Association for 2 years between 2001 and 2003. Coach Osam Dodo died at a hospital in Accra after a short illness. Osam Dodo remains only the second coach after CK Jemfi to ever win the Africa Cup of Nations title with Ghana. His coaching career spanned over 2 decades at both youth and senior level. He also won the 1993 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations and a silver medal at the world level the same year. He died at age 78. Former Accra Hearts of Oak midfielder Uriah Asante died from a reported cardiac arrest. Asante played for Hearts of Oak and then left for Tunisia, where he featured for Etoile du Sahel. He died at age 24. The world of boxing had its fair share of sad news this year, beginning with the passing of respected Ghanaian boxing trainer Godwin Ni Janet Kote aka Alowe, who previously handled Azuma Nelson, Joshua Clottey and Joseph Agbeko. Alowe threw in the towel after a brief illness at his home here in Accra. Coach Alowe was 56, had a wealth of experience in the game with almost 4 decades of industriousness in the pugilistic sport, and led the boxing coaches body to push for major reforms in the sport, and also led a lot of advocacy, including issues of welfare of boxers and their trainers. Another top boxing tactician, Emmanuel Tego, known in boxing circles as Akese, has also passed. The famous boxing matchmaker Akese passed away last Tuesday in his sleep. The late Tego in recent times helped nurture the likes of Emmanuel Gameboy Tego, Bukumbanku, Ayite Powers, Oboda Isai, and many others. The sport also lost one of its most seasoned matchmakers, Peter Akon Peterson. Joy Sports shares in the grief of bereaved families and pray the good Lord keeps their souls till we meet again. Rest in peace, heroes of our land. May their souls rest in perfect peace. And yesterday a match was played in the English Premier League last night, and it was Tottenham Hotspur that rallied from behind to beat Southampton by 4-1. That's how we end sports here on the AM Show. My name is Benedict Owusu. There is more sports news on my Joy Online Sports page, and keep following us on Twitter at Joy Sports GH, on Facebook as at Joy Sports. The Africa Cup of Nations is coming up, and our diaries is large, and on radio we're starting on January 2. Our first guest will be the Leporu, former Ghana Football Association chairman, Alhaji MND Jawula. Enjoy the rest of the program.